Hello Wolfpack, welcome back to another Bitcoin update here. We have, this video where we're going to cover the double bottom scenario again, what's happened on the recent close. I've got a fresh chart here so I can eliminate all those distractions that we might have had. What I'll just do quickly before I actually leave this chart like this is I'll draw some of the lines that we need to be drawing, including this uptrending line here that we need to be drawing. I'll draw it, sorry, it's not like that, it's like that, right? We had the test here, the first test in July, September. We had the bottom side test in December. And there's a few more lines I could draw here, but we'll just look into a different chart when that time comes. The uptrending line is the most important line we need to be drawing on the chart now, and we'll make that yellow. However, that's not really the topic of this video, right? The uptrending line is not really, the most important thing in this video. What's important in this video is the double bottom scenario and what we've just done on the current close for Bitcoin, a current daily close for Bitcoin. Because what we've actually done, guys, right, is we've come down, we've dropped below the yellow line, this green line, which is the 200-day SMA, and we've come back up and we've actually retested it for resistance, okay? Which is a bad thing, right? We rejected from it. You can see the wick pretty clearly touched it, and we came back down on Bitcoin. So that's a bad retest, a bearish retest of resistance. Last time we saw that, nothing really happened, which is one of the interesting things about this region, this double bottom region, okay? Because it is very much the last possible place in which Bitcoin can bottom out bullishly, right? And I mean that in the sense that this region between 45.5k and 46k, where we had this bottom here just a couple of weeks ago, about a week ago actually, is the last region in which I can see Bitcoin bottoming out and heading to new all-time highs, okay? Below that, I think anything's just going to be a dead cat bounce. Obviously, the most logical bounce zone below this region would be basically 40k to 43k. Let's just list that out right now. So we got 40k all the way to 43k. That is the obvious kind of dead cat bounce zone, that if we do lose this double bottom region between 46k and 45.5k, we're going straight down to 43k to 40k, and we'll see a bounce somewhere there. So here are the scenarios. I'll draw them out with the brush just so you guys can get a quick kind of insight into them. We either do this, we come up, okay, we do that, flip that line, and then head upwards. That's literally what we need to be doing. Or we drop down below, head into the 40k to 43k region and do something, no, not like that, but head into the 40k to 43k region, do a little dead cat bounce, form that, which is going to be a head and shoulders pattern, right? Massive head and shoulders pattern, and head downwards further towards the 200-week SMA in about a year's time. That line I just drew there was completely inaccurate. We're not going to do this, okay? No, it's not going to happen. If we go down to 40k to 43k, I think we will see a little bounce, maybe up to 53k, form that head and shoulders pattern and head further down within about 3 months, okay? Right now is a very critical time for Bitcoin. The next few days, and I mean that quite literally, before the weekly close, the next few days, this is it. Quite literally, this is it. All right, I say that quite a bit because it's true, okay? This is another scenario in which this, quote unquote, this is it. This is another scenario in which Bitcoin has an opportunity, okay? We can't keep throwing away these opportunities if we're going to remain bullish. There's so many opportunities that we have thrown away. Okay, we throw away an opportunity to bottom here. We threw away an opportunity to get a higher high here. Threw away an opportunity to hold the line. Threw away an opportunity to hold the 200-week bull market support band opportunity. Threw away an opportunity to retest that line and head back upwards. Threw away an opportunity to break and make a higher high. Instead, we double topped. All right, we can't lose another opportunity. There's only so many opportunities Bitcoin can have. This is the last one, okay? And I've been bearish in the market, as you guys will know. I said every video. I've been bearish in the market since 66k, okay? I said at 66k when this top was in here, this lower high, I said, hey guys, it doesn't look good. Let's de-risk, let's be cautious. And then at 58k, I confirmed that, hey, this is actually going to be a very strong downwards trend. And if you haven't already got out, get out, right? And then now, in my opinion, it's probably too late to get out, right? You waited way too long. However, this is a very critical time. We'll head over to the weekly chart quickly and we can see why, okay? The weekly chart is showing us on Bitcoin that the 50-week SMA is currently stationed at 48.1k. Closing below the 50-week SMA historically, I'm not going to look into it, I've looked into it in every video I've done, right? Closing below the 50-week SMA historically, which is this red line here, has typically led to bear markets, right? If we close below the 50-week, the next logical step, okay, I mean close below convincingly, not just like one candle or one wick below, we need convincing closes below it. the next logical step, historically, it's happened 4 times now, is trending downwards for about 1 year to the 200-week SMA, wherever that may be at that time, right? So that would mean, if this happens, if we drop below it, if we close below it, the next logical step for Bitcoin based off technical analysis is trending downwards until about November or December 2022 and bottoming out on the 200-week SMA, which would probably be anywhere from 25 to 30K. All right, so that's the next logical step for Bitcoin. If we do lose that line at 48.1K, which is very possible, right? We have 3 days, 3 daily closes to get above 48.1K, okay? What is worth noting is if we do get above 48.1K by the weekly close, this would put us about here at this circle, okay? I'll put that a bit closer, about here at this circle. If we get to that circle by the weekly close and close above that, that would probably confirm a double bottom, because in order for us to close a weekly above 48.1K, not only would we have to have bounced off of this region in which we've tested the double bottom, we'd also have to take back the 200-day SMA, and we'd also have to take back the 50 week. So I'll reiterate here, I'll say it again. If Bitcoin is going to have a chance at recovery, if Bitcoin is going to bounce, we need to close the weekly candle above 48.1K. If we do that, we would have closed above many major support zones, and we would have the energy needed to get back above and have another big bounce on Bitcoin, right? 48.1K by the weekly close. That is very important, okay? Keep that in mind, okay? Now, there are bearish arguments to make as well, and there are bullish ones as well, okay? So there's multiple different sides to this, and I think the best case scenario here, or the best thing we can be doing, is just waiting and seeing, right? The weekly close is only 3 days away. Wait and see. If we close above 48.1K, we'll kind of start thinking about what the potential scenario would be for Bitcoin and whether we should re-enter or not. If we don't do that, obviously it's just business as usual. We just continue to be cautious and continue to wait for better entries, okay? But right now, what I'm seeing for Bitcoin is a mixture of both bullish and bearish things. We can see we have this downtrending line on the RSI. Let's draw it properly, actually. Downtrending line on the RSI. We broke that to the upside, came back down, fell back within, and now we're currently testing it for resistance once again, okay? So that's a bit of an interesting thing to keep an eye on, right? We may break back up. We may drop back down. Who knows? I think we're slightly above it right now. But the RSI is kind of misleading us at this point, because we had this breakout and it kind of led to nothing happening. However, what is more important, in my opinion, on Bitcoin is that we're retesting the 200-day SMA. We can see that we dropped below it. We had one candle, which was yesterday, wicked it, tested it as resistance, and now, we're potentially going to be dropping further down into this double bottom region, okay? That would be the most logical step after a retest, at least in a wick, okay? What we can see is that the bull market support band is still trending downwards now. Actually, it started trending downwards a little bit. It's at around 53K at the top, so we need to be breaking 53K to form both a higher high and also take back the bull market support band, which many people would see as a buy signal. I kind of agree with that to a certain extent. I have previously said that this yellow uptrending line is my re-entry spot. I'm going to go ahead and say that that's probably my conservative re-entry spot at this point in the market now, because it's just heading, it's very, very high, right? It's all the way up here at 55.5K now, and so I think there's better ways we can kind of determine re-entry, but it is nevertheless a very important line. However, I'll look into that more when the time comes when it's actually necessary, because right now we're still a long way to go anywhere near re-entering, right? We need to be waiting for the weekly close at the very minimum, and even then, I wouldn't re-enter fully. If we close above 48.1K, that's not a buy signal, right? That's just a good step in the right direction. We need to be seeing the volume to actually support that move. We've seen a historic lack in volume here on this entire construction, and what we can actually see on Bitcoin is the volume increasing in a downtrend now. First of all, the volume was decreasing in the uptrend. Now it's increasing in a downtrend, and so that's not a good sign at all for Bitcoin. I mean, there's multiple bad signs, and there's a few things that are giving us a little bit of hope, but for the most part, it's still pretty bearish in terms of technical analysis. The 9-day SMA is actually in the same region as the 200-day SMAs, and so they're both acting as resistance in the same region. It's also at 48.1K. 48.2K, sorry. If you remember, the 50 week is at 48.1K. So there's a lot of resistance in that region between around 47.8 to 48.1 in that 300 USD region. A lot of resistance kind of rejecting us back, and the weekly close is going to be very interesting this week to see if we can actually get back above that, because if we do, we'll obviously be in for another renewed rally, whereas if we don't, it's not going to look too good for Bitcoin, and we're going to be trending downwards to 40K to 43K before a dead cat bounce, and then probably lower after that. And so that's all I really wanted to bring you guys. There's not really much to say about the chart in comparison to what I was talking about yesterday, but essentially just reiterating that point, and we'll do updates. It's only 3 days, so we'll do an update every day on the situation. Reiterating that point that, this and the next 3 days until the weekly close, this is all you should be worrying about right now in the market. I'm not even trading right now. I don't even care about anything else. I'm literally only looking at the weekly close on Bitcoin, because I don't really see the point in trading when Bitcoin's in this, absolutely critical position. I'd rather wait 3 days. There's no harm in that at all. And so, if we wait 3 days, close above 48.1K, I'll come back, make another video, tell you what I'm doing. If we close below it, business as usual. And that's actually, going to be a confirmation to a bear market, confirming, which I've already kind of confirmed. We have had a bearish phase in the market, all right? We had, we've been downtrending for 2 months now, and we've gone down, over, let's see what we've gone down here. We've been downtrending for 2 months. We've gone down almost 40% on Bitcoin. So, I mean, if this isn't a bearish phase in the market, if you think this is still a healthy correction, I'd really beg to differ. And just because I think it's not a healthy correction, I think this has thrown off many altcoin structures. I mean, altcoins look abysmal for the most part here. Many have broken down long-term uptrending support lines. They've broken down structures that we made for the entire 2021. I mean, this drop has thrown everything off track, and that's undoubtable. Bitcoin on Google search trends has reached a low. It hasn't seen that low for 18 months. Right. The point is, the interest in the market right now on a large scale from retail is just nothing. There's no interest. All right. And so that doesn't mean that we can't see a revival, and that's what I mean by this double bottom. If we see this double bottom, I can really see how this would be a bullish structure, right? Something like this, go back up, flip that, head upwards. That looks great. If that happens, wow, that's awesome. We're off to the races once again. If that doesn't happen, what I see happening on Bitcoin is essentially a slow death until the next bull market, wherever that may be. We might bounce around here for a bit, lose that, see a dead cat bounce, drop down further, something like that. It's not going to go straight down. Nothing ever goes straight down. I still think we're very, very due for a bounce, okay? Because Bitcoin hasn't had a meaningful dead cat bounce yet, right? This wasn't meaningful. I don't think this was a meaningful dead cat bounce. I mean, we bounced up from 45K all the way to 52K. Doesn't really seem like too much though. And dead cat bounce is usually, the whole point of dead cat bounce is to get people really, really, really bullish again, and then catch them out. And I think that did kind of happen over here, but not to the same extent that I'd expect it to happen. However, I'm not going to bet on anything like that. I'm out of the market right now almost fully, and so I'm just going to be waiting until there's confirmation of any kind of trend. And right now the trend is very strongly downwards, so I'm going to be bearish until proven otherwise. That's just basic investing strategies. The trend is your friend until it ends. And so if the market's bearish, which it is undoubtedly bearish, be bearish until it's proven that you should be bullish. And that's going to happen, potentially, if we see that double bottom, we might be proven bullish here, and then we can re-enter. And then basically, the good scenario for us is the wolf back. If you follow me for a decent period of time, we sold here at 66K. We might have the opportunity to buy back here at 49K, depending on what happens. But again, that's not me telling you to buy back when we see the double bottom. I don't think, that's a logical thing. We have to reevaluate the charts when that happens, okay? I'm not saying buy back if we see a double bottom, if we close above the 50 week. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that's a good step in the right direction. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.